Yo, nice to have you back on the channel. Hope you're doing great. And the sun is shining for you. Today I want to talk a little bit more about mixing. And actually not just me. Oscar was here and we perfectly aligned this. So this is more like mixing videos. A lot of people ask me like, hey, can you make more mixing videos, mastering videos, kind of more the techie stuff, right? And normally we go just really techie on this channel. About sound design. And me and Oscar, we did a track. There was a moment where we realized something is really like out of mix and we want to keep the elements. So we have to kind of, make some tricks to make it work, right? This is just one of many that I want to do now, videos, this time with Oscar, where I talk a little bit more like how it is, what you can hear, and then how to, like, what is the trick you can do to get it into your mix so you can actually use that element and don't have to delete it because it's, having the wrong frequencies. So I would say we just jump directly into that video that I recorded with Oscar, and that's it.
Ooh, so hello everyone. Imagine that you are in the studio with Morgio and myself, Oscar from Underdog, and we're making some kind of hypnotic techno. Mm-hmm. And I want to play a game with you now. I want to challenge you. We've made one element that sounds kind of groovy and cool and hypnotic, but that is difficult to mix. And I want you to tell us, or figure out for yourself, what do you think is the problem or the challenge for this element in the mix? And I'm going to play you the element itself first, and I'm going to shut up and let you listen. All right. Do you know what you've noticed? Or are you kind of like, I don't know what I'm hearing? That would have been me for many years. I'd be like, I don't know what I'm hearing.
Sounds good to me.
But, and that's it. The emotional side of the sound is good. It's like it's what we wanted for the track.
Absolutely. I think it's what we want, but now we see a problem with it and we want to keep it, but now we have to work with it.
Exactly. And so essentially, in the context of the mix, we'll play you the mix in a moment, but in the context of the mix, one of the phenomenons that we feel is that, the element is too quiet, it's too quiet, it's too quiet, and suddenly it's too loud, and then it's too quiet, too quiet, too quiet, and suddenly it's too loud. And one of the main things you want to do in a mix is always just reach for your faders to set the gain to a place where everything is sort of balanced and harmonious, living well with each other.
Yeah, but with a creature like this, you end up that you touch the fader again and again, you bring it down, you bring it back up, because the thing is too dynamic.
Too dynamic, exactly. Yeah. So managing the dynamics of an element is an important thing to start to realize we're quite used to compressed audio when we're consuming audio. A lot of it is already quite compressed. And so it's good to train your ears for something when it's like, it's just, no, it's too quiet, now it's too loud, too quiet, too loud. So managing the fact that this is too dynamic. We have a couple of tools, and typically the most typical ones would be compression or limiting. Yeah. And so that's one of the things. It's a very complex element. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Yes. But one of our first thoughts was to limit it, to just shave off the moments when it gets too loud.
Yes.
Because then you can bring up the overall volume of the element. Sometimes that's enough. Yeah. Sometimes saturating a little bit can also do something similar, where it'll stabilize the volume of an element.
Also the part that are too low can we get louder then, and then it starts to be again normal. Yeah. And then maybe put behind there a limiter. Yeah. But sometimes, right? Sometimes it's just in one frequency range, the problem, and not the sound itself. It's just in the mids or just in the highs.
Exactly.
And there, the multiband dynamics in our case was working.
Exactly. So one of the things that I felt like we identified was that we sort of listen to all the frequencies. Let me get a fresh EQ8 for that. Mm-hmm. And you can sometimes you can get this stuff visually, right? Obviously the advice for mixing is always to use your ears. Sometimes here we can see visually what's going on. So let's look at these frequencies. now, oh, here something is jumping out for me. It's like, oh, that's a really uncomfortable frequency. So I actually don't want to make the low frequencies quieter, and I don't want to make the high frequencies quieter. I just want to make this area quieter, and I want the other areas to come up louder if possible, so that we can feel the element more in detail. So when you say, okay, well, actually, it's everything between, I don't know, let's say 800 and 2000 hertz or something, well, then maybe that's a good place for multiband dynamics. And so this tool is a multiband compressor, and it has 3 bands. And ignore what we've done on the top band, because that's just silliness. That's a totally different reason why we did that.
Yes.
But on the mid band, what happens is when the volume tries to go over certain amounts in the range between 800 hertz and 2000 hertz.
Yeah, you put that manually first because you saw in which area we're working.
Exactly.
On the EQ, and then you put them there.
Exactly. And so if I turn this on, you see that here, when it tries to go above, it gets compressed pretty brutally. Like I've done a ratio of...
minus 15, I see.
Yeah, here
16,
it goes.
yeah.
Sometimes it hits minus 15, 16. Yeah, exactly. And so this mid is now no longer going to poke you in the ear as strong. Its identity stays intact, but the pure sonics of it doesn't hurt you anymore. And then when you start to, like, at the worst moments, do minus 15, you can really easily bring it up by 5 decibels, so the quiet parts are up louder as well, and it's overall just more consistent. And then one of the thoughts later on that we had was, oh, this element is quite prominent. Let's add some high sparkly stuff. So just add in.
Yeah, that's like you want to hear how you push the button actually with the high end.
Exactly.
And also we like the 10K sweep.
Just this
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pleasant sound to me.
And I think it's a time where you can give the
time.
context. The first time we listened it also since yesterday.
Exactly. Since like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. when we were working on this. Yeah, I dig it. Sick.
Yeah.
Cool. And so this is an example of managing your dynamic range. Things that are too dynamic.
Yes.
So be sensitive to that and find the appropriate tools. You can do the broad range tools like a compressor or a limiter. Those are very good.
Yes.
But if sometimes you need to be a sniper, sometimes you need to have the exact surgical thing of like, I need that specific frequency to shut the heck up.
And a lot of times you think you want to be the sniper, so you take the EQ, but then you actually cut the sound out and you don't bring the rest up.
Yeah.
So that's why the multi-dynamics is amazing.
Because I sometimes, like, I did a video last week on my own channel about dominant resonances, which is like where you find a specific resonance that like hurts your ears and you just push it down. And that could have been a great approach here as well, except I felt like it was a lot of frequencies in this area.
Yeah, like a lot brighter version, yeah.
Yeah, more
and
of an
then you can
area.
try to cue it in the right way. That
You can try and do it like this, right?
Yeah,
Which
but-
maybe that could have worked, but this is also a tool, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's underrated. Like a lot of people don't really understand the multidynamics.
Yeah.
Also, the character of the compression from the multidynamics is a completely different one to, for example, the glue compressor or something.
True.
Like when I was doing drum bass and dubstep, you have harsh sounds that have to go in a mix through each other, and you want a harsh contrast between the elements. That was my way to go.
Interesting.
But I used it really artistic. Like that what we did in the highs, I did with all frequencies.
Yeah.
To give it just like
Yeah. That's like what OTT is doing as well,
Yes.
right? That's like this famous other plugin, but also a preset in Ableton.
Yeah.
It's like squishes all the frequencies so that it's just bright all the time.
My OTT to go is actually just amp.
I mean,
Same effect.
with all of these tools, you realize that when you overdo them, you can also kind of hurt the sound, right? So you always want to be a little bit wary of that. Sometimes you can push a limiter or whatever quite far before it starts to hurt the sound. But sometimes the moment you start to use it, you can start to hear crack.
Yeah.
And it's...
The multiband dynamics is something where you really can particularly use just a little frequency range and change there something, but don't change the rest of the sound. So it's actually more one of the subtle elements, even if you don't use it too harsh.
One thing I remember doing as well is on a bass line, use the sidechain and then only sidechain the lows, so that only the low energy of a bass might go away when the kick hits. You know?
Hey, that's actually super good.
Yeah.
Is it new, the sidechain input for the multiband dynamics?
It's, as far as I remember, it has always had it.
Okay, because they added it to Rora now and some other devices, so I didn't know where they put it everywhere.
Yeah, it could have been, but as far as I remember, it's always been like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice. Cool. Yeah, that's, I think, a thing that is was in our head where we realized, wait, we did that yesterday, and I think a lot of people sometimes they just put compressor on everything and then don't really get how to make this particular little adjustments, you know. Yeah. And then you just cut it with a limiter, but you don't get the same effect. And here we really pushed the sound to what we wanted.
Yeah.
On frequency based knowledge, you know, like I like that when you analyze it with the EQ and you see, okay, it's really did range here, okay, and then you work with that and you literally manually put here the frequency range also in.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And before we forget, make sure to like the video and subscribe and comment. When you put two YouTubers in a room, it's inevitable, you have to do this. Go to Mordio's website and find out his preset packs. Go to his Discord channel, which has a thriving and vibrant community of hypnotic techno producers. Check out my own channel.
The same goes to you. Nice Discord channels, beautiful courses. If you really want to learn something, go to that website. And yeah, we see us very, very soon.
Ciao.